Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. We're going on with our little journal this week. We're starting to fill in all our pages that we popped in last week. So we're going to use up some of our ephemera and pockets and things that we've already made. And I'm going to show you how to do a few more other pages, how to actually utilise your stamps in pages and bring out something extra, a little bit of newspaper, some stamps, bringing those out. And we're also, one of the other things we're going to do is one of our envelopes. So one of our little envelopes that we made, we're going to do the inside, we're going to attach it to the page, and then, when we find it, here we go. Using one of our folded pages, we're going to pop it up, we're going to make some tags and some journal cards, and a little cluster that goes on the top that sits, hang on a moment, we'll sit that over like that, so that we've got a cluster on the back of our page as well, and then it's full of tags and tucks and things. So there's a few other bits and pieces that we'll be doing as well this week. Hope you'll join me. Let's come along for the ride. See you in a while. Okay, so we'll go through to start with. I've done a few things in the book. This was one of the pages of that large envelope that we did. So all I've done on one side is I've grabbed some old newspaper. You know how I love my old newspaper. I've stamped just down here, so it finishes about there, and then I've just adhered that down, just to give a little bit of something going on. Now, I've got a few other bits and pieces sitting here ready to go. I came across, here it is, when I was cleaning up the other day, a whole pile of a floral book that I had, and as I was sorting it out, cut out a few pieces. So one I've stuck on that book page. You know how I said I don't use full book pages in my journals that often. This is what I tend to do with them. So I've just adhered that one on. I've not done a great deal. Got one of our pockets ready to go on. Now with this one, this is one of the ones that we made before. What I want to do is adhere this like this. So I've still got a side pocket. So I've got my top pocket up here. I've got that pocket and I've got that pocket, and then that gives me a side tuck. But for me, this is plain. Of course it's plain, it's on a plain piece of paper. So what I'd like to do with that is just again stamp a few random images that'll be just poking out from around here. Now, actually, I was just rethinking that one. I've got flourishes here. Now, sorry if you can hear some background noise, just a buzz. I've had to give in and turn the heater on. Normally I turn it off once I'm actually filming, but it's just a little bit too cold. So let me have a look. Maybe one of these border things would work. Very similar to these. So we could do something like that without it. I don't want something too full on. Oh, look. Let's just have a look at something like that. And I know I said I had flourishes, but I've gone more into the borders now, so I can pull you out. Oh, there we go. Right, so let's just have a look at that one. Set that in my mess over there. It's only a little stamp, but it might just give a little bit of a difference going round. And I know last week I said if you're going to stamp before you sew them all together, but I still just stamp once they're on. It is easier to stamp once they're all, if they're not together. I'm just going to put that on a block so I get a little bit better. And what I'll also do is grab a piece of scrap. I'll grab a piece of scrap because I had one here. There we go. Our original book page that we were using. Just so that I can give it a little bit. There's another one of those ones that I cut out and stuck on. So I want to go there. I'm going to actually put this so that it's right at the start of the block, and then that way I can go fairly close into the centre. How's that? So that it can go there, like that. So I've been using sepia in the archival inks for a lot of this, so we'll stick with that. The black would look really good with these papers, but I'm just not that much of a black person, so we're going to stick with my normal colourings. Right on the edge, like so. Now this one, of course, to join down here, I only need a little bit. And that's why I've got this on here, so that it won't go onto my other pages. Like so. Alright. I'll go down now. I'll turn that way. That one, it's not very straight, but it's on there, and it'll give just something going on to the rest of that page. To down there, and yes, you can see where I've joined them and all the rest, but I'm not overly concerned with that. So I'll go right in here again. I love stamps. If you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that because I can get so much out of a stamp. I can use it in so many different ways. They're I will only need one of those, so I've just wiped the rest of that stamp, and I'm just going to ink up just one little piece. These ones are fairly easy I don't have to mask it or anything else, and I've literally just inked up one little piece. There we go, just to match all that up. As I was saying with the stamps, I can use them in so many different ways. One item will give me so many different options. So now I've got a border going around that. I don't necessarily need it in there, and I think that just finishes off that plain page. So we're going to ink, no we're not, we're going to glue there, there and there. Just make sure my glue is working, because I've just come in and sat down with this one. I thought I'll bring you along for this bit, and then I'll turn you back on, and we'll go on to the next one. And I might just do that with this video and just keep turning you on when I come back down and sit down for it, without getting too far advanced. Otherwise I tend to get in the zone, and before I know it, I've done 3 or 4 pages and haven't brought you along for any of them. And that's what happened this morning, sorry. So I came in to start preparing, and the brain runs away with you, and I just kept doing more and more and more pages. So I've got to stop, and I've got to remember to turn the camera on each time I come down to do this. So you might see a multitude of different clothes over this video. Depends on how many days this takes. Right, I still want that kind of centered. Down there, and down there. Just give that a good push, because my book is curving a little bit now. I just need to make sure I'm putting the right pressure on. Turn that over. What else have we got? Right, that's where I fussy cut out that one before. See, here's another one that I did without you, sorry. These ones are in my Ko-fi page. They're freebies, and I really like working with these. So you can either print them out full size or small size, 2-door page. I've got a couple of different ones on the go here, and if you print them out whatever size, what I like to do with them is I will cut these out. Looking for my pencil. So this is the top of my envelope. I will cut this out right about here. Hang on, let's do this very quickly so that you can see what I'm on about. I'll move that. I'll grab my knife, and I will grab a ruler, just a little ruler. Okay, so let's grab this one. That's our top. I'm going to trim just a little bit off there, so about 1/4 of an inch. We're going to do it down here as well, about 1/4 of an inch, and get rid of that bit. And on this side, this is a great way to make a really versatile pocket because we're giving ourselves extra room in this pocket. I'm going to use my scissors to cut across the top so that I get that lovely edged look where it wobbles in and out and all the rest. Down there, back up. Okay, now score around those, but quite often with your scoreboard it's going to be a straight line. These ones are not necessarily a straight line, so when I'm doing these I just get an old mouse mat on my push pad. It's actually my stamping block one, and I get the good old-fashioned embossing stylus. Use the smaller side, not the really small ones. This one has a larger and like a medium, I suppose, would be it. Can you see that? And then I can just trace around. So I'm just going to follow down that envelope with its wobbles and all the rest, all the way down. Go back over to this side, and I'm going to do the same there and up. So I can give that. They are definitely not straight lines, and that's where if I put it on my scoreboard it wouldn't come out just the right shape. So all I'm doing is pushing in. If you don't have a mouse mat, kids foam, something like that, use an old book underneath you that's got plenty of give in it. Alright, I'm going to chop off my corners, and I'm going to just give those ones their little V's, and then I will use my actual, I'm going to fold that over, and then I'm going to actually use my bone folder just to really push them down, because the embossing stylus is not great for pushing them down. Alright, folding all that over, grab my embossing stylus, and now I'm going to give them a really good crease. Okay, down on all of those, and I like this one because it gives me this edge. Okay, so a little bit of ink on that, just really to get rid of the white that I may have left on there. I want to make it look a little bit more grungy than it already is. And what I've now got is a really good versatile pocket with these little gussets that's going to allow me to sit more in. And that's what I've done with this one. So you can see how well it sits out to chuck all sorts of bits and pieces in. So that's one of the large ones. As I said before, you'll find a whole heap of different ones on my Ko-fi page. The link will be in the description box below. And they're freebies, those ones. Right, what else have I got? Oh, our other little envelope we made, I'm just going to tuck into that. That will be glued. Let's glue that now. No, let's not, because I'm still debating on whether I want something on the back of that one. There's the other side of my envelope. I haven't done anything with that one yet. Right, envelope. This one, what I want to do with this one, and I was in the process, and that's where I thought I've got to stop. I had sitting here with all my mess. Here it is. So all it is, piece of paper, cut off. I've torn a little bit of the edges to make them easier. If you're forward thinking, you will adhere this in there before you glue your envelope together. I am not forward thinking. I work on the spur of the moment and away I go. So that'll just go in here like so. And we're going to stick that down. We could leave this blank. That's a me thing. Do I want to leave it blank? We could pop some things in there. I'm just going to pull out a stamp and stamp some script or something like that in there. Let's have a look. Let's pull out one of these ones this time. So, see now, I like that. I like that. I like all my numbers and bits and pieces, as you probably know. Hang on a moment. I've just seen something else that I like maybe even better. Do I want that in there, or do I want that one? Actually, I've got a Timmy one. Oh, hang on. Found something even better. That's a half one. That might, yeah. Look at that. That'll sit up there nicely. We're going to go that way. So I'm going to grab just a stamping sheet underneath that. Little bit of foam, like I said before, because the other one's sitting underneath all that. That's just going to sit on there like so. Let's see if that one will fit on there. Just. Yep. And I'm going to stamp upside down so that I can see exactly where I'm going, so without sticking my head right under there. So I want that down there, that just there like so. We're going to use sepia again. Just tapping, don't scrub across, just tap up and down. Well, you can see exactly what I'm doing. Only about there. I want that wording up the top about there. Don't take your hands off, just give it a good push. Lovely. I like that. Right, this one will then go in there. Because I'm using that archival ink, it should be dry straight away. Even in this weather, let's find a scrap bit of paper to glue with, and we'll glue this one down. I've inked that side, so I'm going to glue this side. Now, what I plan to do with this envelope is have it as a flip going over the page, or around the page, I suppose would be the better word for it. So what we're going to actually do is just slide that in there like so, in there, down there, nice straight. Give that a push, double check you've got no glue sitting in there. That's him. We're going to decorate all the front of that. It's going back to our book. I'll put a little marker so I didn't lose it. I want it to go over the page like so, so that this will sit in covering some journaling. This would be a journaling page, so it can sit in there, fits in there nicely. I plan on using a small paper clip of some sort. I don't know, I'll just pull one out for now so that we can see. I should have some black ones in there somewhere. We'll find those, so that that will sit other way around, Kylie, with these ones. That will sit in there and hold that. Okay, so we can put stuff in there. We're going to decorate the front, so let's pull out some of our little bits and bobs that we'd done prior from the rest of this paper pad, and I'll just do a little cluster. You can sit some of these up here. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Don't like that one, too big, she cried. They're the same size, aren't they? Let's have a look. Oh, use that cold cream one. Let's get into some of our others. I've got that. And we'll go some of these ones. I'm just pulling bits out now. Different colour. You're a slightly different colour. They were all round about those, weren't they? Oh, cold hands, I can't pick anything up. I actually like that one better. Alright, so we're going to do just those three. There's a cluster on the front of that. That's not going to take much at all. None of these are cut beautifully straight, but that's fine. Won't take long at all. So we had that one. I had that one. All I'm really doing is getting rid of my white edge where I've not cut it perfectly straight. That one should already be done. Beautiful. So back with our glue. Use that one this time. And I want that one first. He went underneath, which is why I always sit them there and have a look first of where they're all going, and then I can sit them back again. So I'm going to hang on to that, hang on to that one. That went just in there like that. So I can lift this up, work out, yep, I want that one down there like so. Now I can glue this one. So I'm just using my normal glue stick for these. That one can go in there up like that. Happy with that. And then our little circle one. Now you could pop some lace, some cheesecloth, something like that on this one as well, which would look really nice. I'll just tell you that we aren't actually doing it, but and that bit in there like that. Okay, so that will have our journaling underneath. You'll have journal cards inside it. Once we turn it over, what I want to do is we've got one of these flipped pockets that we did. This of course will turn into a pocket, but what I want to do is layer this with tags behind this and turn this into a little cluster right on the edge of that as well. So this envelope then gives us 2-page overlay, more or less. We're just going to glue straight down there. Check that glue's working again. Grab my pin, which is sitting over here. Right, there it is. I'm just going to turn that way, and then I'm just going to run this straight down there. Like that. Set that down. I'm just going to pick it up and squeeze it a little bit with my fingers so that if anything comes out, I'm getting it and it's not going on the rest of the page. Beautiful. That's that one. This one we're going to make our cluster. To start with, we're going to do a few very quick tags to go in there. Now, we had that beautiful piece that was just a scrap that was left over from whatever. I'm going to straighten that bit up. I'll just bring it in. Not going to take much. Wherever I can go straight. So I'm happy with that, and I want to actually give it a tag shape at the end. So all I'm going to do is pull out my little card, and I want a wider one or a longer one for that, so I'm just going to sit it on there, trim down with my scissors, turn it over, go that side so that it's the same match up. Like that. We will ink around this one. Do we want a hole in it? We might pop a hole in it, mightn't we? I'm not going to pop an eyelet as such, but we might pop a hole. We could do a reinforcer. That would look nice, wouldn't it? Let's have a look at a reinforcer. I want about that size reinforcer, I think. Yep. So let's have a look at some of our other papers that we had some scraps left of. Move that one back there. Let's have a look. Move that over there. Move that one over there so that they can all fall down everywhere. Let's have a look at our scraps that we had left over. Just little bits. Oh, that always works well for me. Whenever I usually do reinforcers, now something like that would look rather awesome, wouldn't it? So that we're going to use that. I could just trim all the way around that, punch out the centre of that one. That would look rather good actually. Do we have a circle punch that's going to do that, or am I going to cut it out freehand? Let's have a look. Oh, that's fairly close, isn't it? like that. And I want to be able to punch that centre out, which I should have done in the first place. But that's all right. So I'm going to stick it on there where I want it to go, and we'll punch it out while it's on there. Right. Edge around that one. Glue that one. Oh, and in moving things, I found my glue book, which is sitting over here. All right. So if I look at that centred, which is there and there, that's going to be my centre point. I can go down there. How's that? I probably shouldn't punch while this glue is still wet, but needs must. I want a big one. I think it was the big one that's going to need to be for the centre of that, isn't it? There we go. Well, that's made a nice and easy one. That one, of course, will go below that. And I want a couple of others. It brings out the black in that. That brings out that. We want a couple of others. Just quick and easy tags to sit in there. Tags, strips, journal cards. Let's just use that. I'll trim off where I just punched that out. And we might give this one some rounded corners. This is where I like my other little bits that are left, because I can now use them as all my journal cards and my tags and things like that. And I know that it's going to keep a coherent look throughout the journal. Okay, now we could have it just like that, tucked in there, down there, giving me some layering, or I could put something else on there. Let's go a butterfly. Let's go a butterfly, because they keep coming back in this one, and I should have some more cut out, I'm hoping. I can't just leave it like that. Might have to put some newsprint on it. Let's have a look at some newsprint. Still have design. I just want a strippy one. I know, even my newsprint has to be just the right one. You know, I keep saying, let's just use some newsprint, but it's never just newsprint. These are all the schools from 1889. Yeah, 1889. So let's just, one of these smaller ones. Let's have a look at that. So, going to tear a little bit down there. And I'm going to tear that one like that. I'll give it a little bit of ink so that it stands out a little bit more, because this newspaper is slightly lighter than my main old ones that I use, even though this one is my oldest one. I know. Different type of paper they've used on it, and it's lighter. So glue. I do have some more butterflies to cut out yet. They're just biding their time. Helps if you roll the glue out. Always remember that. Just makes life so much easier if the glue's actually rolled out. Right, so about up there on the edge and across. I do my butterfly. I'm actually going to do the butterfly in my other glue, because it's a thicker cardstock like this, but it's got that shiny embossed look on it. It does occasionally want to curl. So I find with these butterflies, for the most part, I tend to put them on with this glue and not the glue stick. Right. Just down like so. Okay. Well, let's have a look. That's what I'm after now. Where are we going to pop it? Doesn't have to be straight, does it? Let's go like that. That just gives it a little bit of something else going on at the top. It's still a nice quick journal card. It's still going to tuck into there beautifully, like so. I like that. I like that look underneath it all. So this one, of course, I still want just a little bit of a cluster going on there. So back into our bits that we had left over from our paper pad. What did I have in these? Oh, we had that bingo card, didn't we? So that then adds to all the rest of this look. I'm going to use some cheesecloth down that one and finish that there. And cheesecloth lace, cheesecloth maybe. The lighter one, I'm thinking. God, what a mess, Kylie. Let's have a look. Just do a chunk. We'll just cut a chunk because I didn't have any other chunks down there. All right, pop the rest of that back in there. Now this is just normal cheesecloth, or my muslin, whatever you want to call it, and this one is tea dyed, so it's that lighter one. My darker one is coffee dyed, so it just depends on the look that I'm going for at the time. I just want down there. Alright, leave that one over there for the next one. I'm going to just scruff this, scruff it by the back of the neck. Like so. And one of my lovely little circles, let's have a look. In it too, like a large bingo too. Down there like that. I like that because the whole thing then tones in with all my tags and everything else that are going on as well. So, happy with those ones. I'm not using glue stick on any of that. What I will be using is some double-sided tape. Now, I don't think my bingo piece is even straight. Let's just trim that up. Trim off that top bit. It's still not straight, but it's slightly better. If I get rid of those bits. Right, I'm going to put some double-sided tape down there to harness my cheesecloth. Goes that way. Like so. And then I can attach that all as one piece then. Let's have a look. I need it slightly larger. Alright, so I'm just going to sit over here now and work this out. So I want a little piece at the top. I want it hanging off. I'll just stretch that out. I want it to look loved and well used and all the rest, so I might not need as much down the bottom. Down here. That looks better. That looks better. Just, yeah, well loved like that. Right. So peel off the backing of my double-sided tape. Let's set this over. I want to go about there. Like so. So there he is all in one piece then, and he can be attached to that then as one piece. Not that I've showing you over here like that. And then this one will sit down here like so, but I'm going to attach the top part of that to this bit as one piece to start with. These are good things to do up with all your bits and pieces that are left over as well, so that they're sitting done up like this, and then you can just attach them to whatever it is you're working on at the time. Turning that over, pushing that down. Right, so I'm just going to take our paper clip off that. having that like that so I can see whereabouts I need to attach this and where I'm going to be popping my glue. So I'm going to sit this on my grid line. And it was about there, wasn't it? So I can glue this bottom piece down here to about there. Like so. Making sure my bingo card is straight. That's all that. I can put a little bit more under there, and I may need to pop some double-sided tape or some fabric glue, but we're going to see how that goes to start with. Like that. Right, I'm happy with that. So that one will go over here again, sit over that bit, sit over that bit, in like that. Our little paper clip will go, nope, that side, Kylie, like that, and hold that up there like that. And now we've got this on the inside. So much easier and quicker because we've just used all our little bits and bobs. So what other bits do we already have ready to stick in and do? I know I had some other bits sitting in here for this one. We'll get all those. Oh, that one, yes, I gave in. You saw how I made that. I told you how I made that one, and I've just stuck that one in as a side tuck. I'm fairly certain I've got some other bits sitting in here. There was that one. That one, which I showed you how I made as well, and I'm just debating at the moment there. I'm not quite certain. It's been something I've been playing around with. The other bit that I was thinking of was popping it there, so that lifted up the entire of that and made it as a fold. It means it's not technically a pocket then, but it does make for a nice tab that's on there. If I just, hang on, I'll show you what I mean. If I just glue there, down there, and down there, when I attach this onto it, I do have a slight tuck in here. So let's do that. I'm just going to double check that that writing, if I sit that there, should be where that writing is. Yes, it is. So I know I can glue there, there and there to adhere that on. So let's do that. Again, you can see if you've got your embellishment bits already made, they're sitting there. It is very easy to go through your journal and just start popping them in and then just adding other little bits. It's not all the time you want to have them pre-made. You might be better thinking as you go, and by all means. I'm a little bit of both. Sometimes I like pre-made like this, and then as you can see, as I'm going through, I'm thinking about it and then coming up with other ideas out of the bits that I've got sitting here ready to go. So that one's going to go there. I'll move this out a little bit. I want that on that line, and on that line we're just going to double check that I might need to squeeze that in a little bit. Make sure I've got that glue done like that. Okay, like so. Alright, so now what I've got is a tab that's going to help me pick that up and fold that over, but I've also got a slight pocket in here as well. Now that was literally one of those border punch out bits from my paper pad, some old book page and a little bit of lace. They are so easy to do. Right, in this one, I've got that other pocket we were going to do. Now he's going on the back of a brown paper bag, but with this one I wanted to go that way so that I have the top pocket up here as well. Okay, because I've got lots of side pockets and all the rest. So I'm going to pop that one that way. Look, I'm thinking I might put something over that. And as I'm using all this newspaper, I might as well continue with that. So let's find a larger piece of that one. There we go. That'll go down here. What have we got down there? That's just writing. That can go down there. I'm going to tear down that, and that can sit on there like that. How's that? That will work. Look, I could have it further down if I want to see more of it. Doesn't need to be right smack in the centre. So let's have it down there like so. I could technically, if I really wanted to, I could pull out the rest of that paper down there, but I'm not going to. So what I am going to do is just give this a torn edge down here, and just very carefully, because it's old paper, so sometimes it has a life of its own, but I just want that torn edge, so I'm just taking off just a little bit of it as I go down. Now, where did I need to go to? Mr. Needham, I think. So right up there, down there, down there. Yes, it was. It's that one, I think. Yep, right. So I need to tear him across there. Alright, and I can tear that last little bit off there. And that, do I want to ink it? I'm inking everything else, and I'm trying not to. Oh yes, that fits in there nicely. I might just go down my torn edge, so it's not the actual straight edges, but it's just down that torn edge, because I like the look of the torn edge with the ink against it, and it makes it really stand out and pop. Okay, so now when we sit it on, see how it's got that edge? We're going to go that way. So again, this will just be a glue stick one. Make sure your paper's not gluey when you go to do something of any vintage like this, because it will just tear it if you've got a little bit of glue already sitting on your glue book. All right, and just gently with them, with your glue stick as well. Right. So that's a few pages done. We might finish there, and I'll put up some others during the week. This one will go out. I can trim that last little bit off. This one will go out just so that we don't have too long of videos, and we'll work on this for the rest of the week, and we might put out some videos during the week of getting this one done, and see how we go. Okay, so I'll finish that there. I'm going to trim that bit up. I'm going to glue that one on once this glue's dry down there, and then we'll pick it up again tomorrow or the next day. How's that? Thanks all. Glad you're catching along with me with this one, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.